So here we are in the kitchen. I've just been out into the garden and the leaf beet, this is like the spinach equivalent. It's got these really lovely spinachy type leaves that aren't spinach. It's called leaf beet, and it's I think it's what you, when you buy spinach and baby leaf spinach or spinach in the supermarket, this is what you're buying. You're not buying spinach. Spinach has got quite a different shaped leaf. This is easier to grow by far. So I've just been out and I've cut all the tops off. The tops grow, they go to seed basically, and so here they are. They've set seed now, and this is the plant's final last hurrah before it dies. So I've just cut every one of these stems off. Here's a really big one, look. Really thick stem. I've cut them all off near the base, which will mean that I'll get another flush of growth again. But in the meantime, these tops here, I've got some fantastic leaves on. So I'm going to pick over all these leaves, and then it's no accident that at the same time as the leaf beet is going to seed, the courgettes are starting to just expand. If you take your eye off these for a day, the things can be absolutely enormous. No taste really in these. That's the biggest I'll pick them, really, because they're very tender. You can eat the whole thing. With this one, like when I did the ribbon courgette and cooked it like that, what I'll do with this is I will cut the middle core out and put it in the compost. So I've got a lot of leaves to pick over here, which are lovely. I've got some courgettes. Either they're going a little bit big, or like this one. This one's got something called blossom end rot. It's very common with courgettes, and so, but the end here is still perfectly edible. So I'll throw that bit away into the compost bucket beside me and use that little bit. So I've got some courgettes, either ones that don't look like they're going to make it because of this little bit of rot, or massive ones that I don't want to pick that any bigger than that, or just nice normal courgettes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick over all of these leaves. It'll take ages, but I'll put some music on and I'll pick it all over, put them in a huge sieve, wash them all, and then what I'm going to make is courgette and spinach soup, which is this time of year, it's one of the absolute favourites. I adore it, and it's right that we should just eat it when these gluts are happening. So I'm going to do that now. This is going to take me a long time, but I'm going to just carefully go through them all, wash them all, and then we'll get on and make the soup. It's very simple. Nothing I do is complicated. Okay, so I'll see you back here soon. So that's all the veg prepped. I wish I could do it that fast in real life, but it didn't take that long. So what I've got then is the picked and washed spinach, the cut courgettes picked over. I cut the core out of the big one, and 2 onions and 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to sweat them off in this big pan. So some olive oil. It's got a thing on the top, so I'm not pouring loads in. It's just coming out in a thin stream. So I feel very defensive now about the oils and fats I use. Okay then, so I'm going to put that on full. Put all the onions and garlic in there. And they are going to just sweat off in there for a few minutes until they've gone transparent. They just about cover the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to put a kettle of water on to boil. Just speeds things up when I get to that point, and I might have a cup of tea as well. So a big full kettle of water. So that's sweated down now. They're translucent, they're not brown. I don't want them brown because otherwise they'll add that colour to the finished soup. So now I'm going to add in the things that will make it taste fab. Now I like this stuff. This is a vegetarian instant stock powder. I sometimes have a spoonful of this in hot water as a drink. It's delicious. Here you go, it looks like this. I think it's just like stock cubes, but in a powder. But I don't want this to dominate, so I'm just going to sprinkle in 1 teaspoon. That's all that's going in there. Just to lift it a little bit. And then, because the spinach, the leaf beet and the courgettes are quite a bland taste, I'm putting maybe that much chili flakes in. Not many. Just again, a level teaspoon of chili flakes. So now that that's ready, it's a simple matter of pouring in the vegetables. So going to tip all of those in. They'll boil down to absolutely nothing. So although it's quite big in the pan now, it'll be nothing soon. Then in go the courgettes. Give them a little bit of a stir around. So what I'm going to do now, this kettle of water's boiled. I'm just going to pour this boiling water in. I just want to barely cover it, because everything will boil down, and I can always add more water, but it's a nuisance to have to boil off excess water. So I'm just going to barely cover the vegetables. Yeah, that's about perfect. So if I tip it, of course, that's not going to work. I've just covered the vegetables just so that they're barely covered. Then I'll just put the heat up there so that that comes back to the boil. I'll get the big lid for this. Now there's no salt and pepper in there yet, but I'll put that in towards the end because I can taste it and season it then. Now I'm not going to cook this for an awfully long time, because the longer I cook it for, the less green it'll be. I want that lovely vibrant green of summer. So I've got that on high now. And as soon as I can hear that's come back to the boil, I'll turn it down to number 1 for like half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, and then that'll be ready. Now, if you wanted to make this a cream soup, you would just put half and half milk and water, and that would be like a cream of spinach soup, or whatever. Yeah, spinach and courgette soup, an absolute standby of this time of year. So we'll just let that, I can hear that's coming to the boil now, so I'll put it down to number 1. Put the timer on for half an hour, and there's hardly any clear up to do either. It's my favourite kind of cooking. So I'll come back, we'll finish this off just in time for lunch. Well, it's much later in the same day, and the soup is all cooked and ready to be made lovely and smooth in the liquidizer. So it's still got some lovely green to it. So I only really cooked it for about half an hour. And I'm going to pour it all now into here. Might have to do it in 2 batches. This is quite a lot. This is going to make a big noise, so I'll shut up. This is a Magimix blender, And it has lots of different settings for soup, smoothies, ice, plus the ordinary settings. So I'll just put this in here and then do the second batch. And while this is mixing, I'm going to put that back into this pan so that I can stir it all around. Okay, so that's the soup without any seasoning apart from the chilli and the garlic. So I'm going to put some salt and pepper in and stir that in. A pinch of pepper and then taste it and see how that is. Oh, perfect. Ooh, that's good. Good. Green. So if now you wanted to make more of this and make it into a creamier soup, you could stir in or blend in some cream or milk, which would make it a little bit more luxurious. But that is fine just as it is. Perfectly fine. And so we've made pints and pints of the stuff. So what I'm going to do with this is it's quite cool now because it's a few hours since I made it. Let it completely cool and then I'm going to put it into the fridge. And while it's cooked for half an hour and then it's been cooling down, I didn't do it straight away because I've been making these pickled gherkins. I had a lot of gherkins. I'll put a wee picture in. So I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 big jars of pickles there. I gave one to my daughter. She's just been to visit. She's taken one home with her. So now I've got pickled gherkins. And they're pickled. The recipe, you won't be surprised to know that I used a Jamie Oliver recipe. And what I love about pickling recipes is that there's no real exact quantities. So it's white wine vinegar with a few peppercorns, a few mustard seeds, a few blades of mace, which is the outside bit of the nutmeg. It's got a clove of garlic in each one and a star anise in each one, and a bit of sugar mixed in with the vinegar and boiled up with the vinegar. So that's pretty much what I've done there, and those are my pickled gherkins. So I'm quite pleased with those. And now we have this fantastic soup. And I will have that for my supper tonight because I'm going out now. In about an hour, I'm going out with my friend to see the new Mamma Mia film. Here we go again. No spoilers, I promise. I really like the first one, so I think I'm probably going to like this one as well. So when I get back, and tomorrow, I'm going to do some more of the videos about saving seeds and propagating strawberries and so on. Some of the other things that are happening in the garden and using up these gluts of food. Some of this will go into the freezer, possibly, unless I eat it all or I have visitors and we all eat it. But there'll be more spinach and more courgettes to eat, so I shall make this again. Okay guys, this might be a series then of how I use up my gluts in the garden. First one, courgette and spinach soup. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.